Hey guys, Travis Gillespie here. We've been looking at probability using counting methods and sample spaces to solve probability, and let's take a look at this problem. It says Patrice, Jason, and Kenya are auditioning for the school play. The director has two roles available, a doctor and a teacher. Each can be played by either a boy or a girl. What are all the possible ways the two roles can be assigned? Okay, so there's a lot of key information here. I just want to go and highlight some things real quick. Patrice, Jason, and Kenya. These are the people who are auditioning for the play. And the director here has two roles available. So the two roles that are available are either a doctor or a teacher, and either of these roles can be played by a boy or a girl. So it doesn't matter, but a boy could play the doctor or a boy could play a teacher. A girl could play a doctor or a girl could play a teacher. They want to know what are all the possible ways the two roles can be played. Well, real quick, what I want you to be real careful of is, since we've been working with combinations and looking at that, and looking at counting methods with combinations, well, you might be tempted to say, well, since there are two roles available, just going to write that down, two roles available, and since there are three people participating or auditioning for those roles, three people, well, then all I have to do, since these are combinations, are multiply 2 times 3. 2 times 3 will get me 6. And you might want to say there are 6 different possibilities or combinations for these roles. That's not what we're asked to do in this problem, so be real careful. I just want to actually cross this information out because we're not following what the problem wants us to solve. Let's go ahead and see if there's some more key information we missed. I want to just look at this last sentence. I'm going to go back to my pink pen real quick. So what are all the possible ways the two roles can be assigned? Those are the key words. What are? They're not asking how many, they're asking what are and possible ways. So they're not necessarily asking for how many combinations or how many pairs. They're not asking us to multiply 2 times 3 here and give them a value. They're asking us to create a list. So let's think about it this way. How can I express what are the possible ways these two roles, the doctor and the teacher, can be played? So let's just write it out. I want to change colors real quick. Let's pretend that Patrice plays the doctor, Jason plays the teacher. So let's just write that out. Patrice is the doctor, Jason is the teacher. Okay, this is one way the roles can be played, but Jason doesn't necessarily have to be the teacher, and Patrice doesn't necessarily have to be the doctor each time. In fact, I'm going to go back to my pink pen and just write, I'm going to do capital D for doctor. I'm going to rewrite this information, capital T for teacher. We're going to pretend that Patrice is still playing the doctor, though. So instead of writing Patrice out this time, I'm just going to write out a capital P for Patrice, and now let's say this time Kenya plays the teacher. So I'm going to write Kenya's name, and this is the only time I'm going to spell Kenya's name. So Kenya plays the teacher this time. But Patrice doesn't necessarily have to be a doctor in either of these roles. So let's move Patrice from being a doctor, and let's pretend that Jason is going to be the doctor this time. So again, I'm going to go put a capital D down for doctor, capital T for teacher, and this time I'm going to write Jason's name next to the doctor. So we have Jason here, but we're just capital J for Jason. But this time, let's just pretend that Patrice, instead of being a doctor, she is actually a teacher. So this time when Jason's the doctor, Patrice is the teacher. But Patrice doesn't necessarily have to be the teacher, because Kenya could be the teacher. So let's put Jason as the doctor again, and we can make a note that Kenya will be the teacher. Now Jason doesn't necessarily have to be the doctor either. So it's Kenya's turn to be the doctor. So I'm just going to make a note here. So we have doctor, teacher, and Kenya could be the doctor. While let's say Patrice is the teacher again. So Kenya could be the doctor, or Patrice is the teacher, or I could rewrite this again. So doctor and teacher as Kenya being the doctor again, but Patrice isn't going to be the teacher. We're going to make a note that Jason is the teacher this time. So these are the possible ways the roles can be played, and when you're asked what are the possible ways, you're being asked to make a list of the information. So make a list. Let's make that note. The goal here for us is to make a list when you are asked what are. So make a list. One last note I want to make here is that your teacher might actually want you to write the entire list out word from word each time when going through your list. I just wrote capital D, capital T to save time for the video.